Asterisk, asterisk, the myth we've been sold. Why your success depends on who you know, not how alone you grind. Asterisk, asterisk. Welcome to the Pink Parachute Diaries Podcast, where we amplify the voices of Black women making waves, shattering ceilings, and rewriting the rules. Today, I had the extraordinary privilege of sitting down with Kayshaun Brooks, a visionary who's dedicated their life to dismantling one of the most dangerous myths in entrepreneurship, the myth that you must build alone to prove you're worthy. Kayshaun Brooks is not just challenging this narrative, they're igniting a movement that's transforming how Black professionals, creatives, and business owners approach success. Their work is a beacon for those of us who've been told to protect our ideas, compete relentlessly, and hustle in isolation. Kayshaun is making the world better by proving that collaboration, not competition, is the currency of sustainable success. And what they shared with me will shake you to your core. Here's the lie we've swallowed whole. Success is a solo journey. Grind alone. Protect your ideas like state secrets. Compete with everyone. Prove your worth independently before you dare to collaborate. This is the gospel preached in every entrepreneurship book, every motivational speech, every late night hustle culture post. And it's killing us. It's killing Black women who are already fighting systemic barriers, already navigating corporate America's landmines, already carrying the weight of being overlooked and undervalued. We're told to add isolation to that burden, to wear our loneliness like a badge of honor. But Kayshaun Brooks is here to tell you that's not strength. That's a trap. Let me be clear. No thriving business is built in isolation. None. Growth happens through connection, through networking, and through collaboration, through community. Yet, so many of us approach networking with fear, with discomfort, with the transactional mindset that reduces human beings to contacts, to opportunities, to transactions. We see networking as working the room, collecting business cards, pitching ourselves until our voices go hoarse. We've turned connection into a hustle, and it's suffocating us. Kayshaun asked me a question during our interview that I want to ask you right now. Why do we approach relationships like they're transactions instead of foundations? Why do we see other Black professionals as rivals instead of allies? Why do we hoard our ideas instead of sharing them strategically to scale faster? The answer is simple and devastating. We've been conditioned to believe that vulnerability is weakness, that asking for help is failure, that collaboration dilutes our genius. But Kayshaun's main argument flips that script entirely. Real networking isn't about taking, selling, or self promotion. It's about building authentic relationships that fuel mutual growth. In a world pushing us to grind alone, Kayshaun is saying isolation breeds stagnation, while collaboration unlocks exponential success for our community. And they've got the proof to back it up. Before we dive into that proof, let me share 3 key lessons Kayshaun Brooks laid out, 3 truths that every Black woman entrepreneur, creative, and service professional needs to tattoo on their soul. Lesson 1, shift from competition to community. Stop seeing other Black women, other Black professionals as rivals. View them as allies. This week, reach out to one peer with no agenda, just genuine curiosity about their wins. Celebrate them. Ask how you can support them. Watch what happens when you lead with generosity instead of scarcity. Lesson 2, networking is nourishment, not a hustle. Ditch the transactional vibes. Invest in real conversations that build trust. Your network will reciprocate organically when you show up authentically. Stop collecting contacts and start cultivating relationships. The difference is everything. Lesson 3, Sustainable success is collective. Protect your ideas less by sharing them more strategically. Collaborate early to scale faster and avoid burnout. The myth that someone will steal your idea is rooted in fear, not reality. The truth is, execution matters more than the idea, and execution accelerates when you have a community behind you. Now, let me show you what happens when Black entrepreneurs embrace these lessons. Let me show you what happens when they reject the solo journey myth and build through connection. Kayshaun Brooks shared three powerful stories with me, three narratives of Black professionals who shattered the isolation trap and built empires through relationships. These aren't fairy tales, these are blueprints. Let's start with Damon John. You know him from Shark Tank, but let me tell you how he got there. Damon John founded FUBU, for Us by Us, a hip hop apparel brand targeting Black consumers in New York during the 1990s. He started by sewing hats in his mother's house with $40 in fabric. $40. He had limited capital, skepticism from mainstream retailers, and fierce competition in urban fashion where solo hustlers were failing left and right. Isolation nearly sank him. But Damon made a choice. He stopped protecting his ideas and started building relationships. He networked authentically with LL Cool J and other rappers, co creating endorsements instead of cold selling. He joined entrepreneur circles for shared resources. He made himself vulnerable, and that vulnerability accelerated his growth. Well, FUBU hit $6 billion in global sales, $6 billion from basement stitches to Shark Tank icon. Damon John exploded FUBU by aligning with hip hop royalty, turning $40 in fabric into a cultural phenomenon. He pioneered Black owned streetwear collaborations, inspiring diverse brands and shifting fashion toward inclusive networks. His lesson: relationships turned isolation into empire. Think about that for a moment. Damon could have kept his design secret. He could have competed with every other streetwear brand. He could have stayed in his mother's basement, grinding alone, protecting his vision, but he didn't. He opened up, he connected, he collaborated, and he built something that changed fashion forever. Now, let's talk about Tristan Walker. Tristan Walker founded Walker and Company, later acquired by Procter and Gamble, and launched Bevel grooming products for Black men in Silicon Valley. He was frustrated by poor grooming options, so he quit his tech job to solo launch. But solo bootstrapping led to slow traction. Black founders faced investor bias and lacked distribution networks. Tristan hit a wall, so he pivoted. He built genuine ties with barbers, with influencers like Killer Mike, with fellow Black entrepreneurs via events like New Voices Summit for co marketing and advice. He stopped protecting and started connecting. Bevel reached millions in revenue pre acquisition. From a solo idea to a $30 million plus brand, Tristan forged alliances that landed Bevel in Target nationwide, a triumphant leap fueled by mutual support. He elevated Black beauty entrepreneurship, proving collaborative networks combat systemic barriers and create industry ripples. His lesson: ditching solo protection for aligned partnerships unlocks scale. Tristan's story is a testament to what happens when we stop viewing our journeys as competitions and start viewing them as collaborations. He didn't lose anything by opening up, he gained everything. And then there's Rebecca Minkoff. Rebecca Minkoff co founded a global fashion brand with her brother Uri. She started as a New York City creative, solo designing handbags. She sketched alone post college, driven by bold designs, but she hit walls. She was overwhelmed by solo production and market entry. Creatives burn out competing alone. So Rebecca embraced genuine connections with Black celebrities like Nicole Richie and emerging designers, co-hosting events for cross promotion over self promotion. Her brand grew to 20 plus stores worldwide. From sketchpad solitude to red carpet fame, her alliances sparked viral moments, catapulting Minkoff into a multi-million dollar empire. She modeled collaborative fashion ecosystems, influencing diverse creatives to prioritize alignment for broader cultural shifts. Her lesson, relationships turned isolation into amplified reach. Rebecca's journey proves that the creative process doesn't have to be a lonely one. In fact, it thrives when it's shared. Three stories, three entrepreneurs, three empires built not on solo grinding, but on connection, collaboration, and community. Damon John, Tristan Walker, Rebecca Minkoff, they all started alone. They all hit walls. They all made the choice to connect, and they all exploded. Now imagine if more Black women professionals and organizations adopted this perspective. Imagine if we ditch solo journeys for relationship foundations, we'd see explosive growth, small businesses scaling 2 to 3 times faster through shared resources, creatives avoiding burnout via support circles, service brands dominating via mutual referrals. Communities would thrive, failure rates would plummet. Statistics show networked entrepreneurs succeed 70% more than solo hustlers. 70%. We'd build Black wealth ecosystems that last generations. We'd create a world where Black women's accomplishments are celebrated and their potential is unleashed. We challenge the status quo that hands talented Black women pink slips while underperforming men get golden parachutes. We'd rewrite the rules. But here's the thing, this isn't just about business. This is about survival. This is about sanity. This is about reclaiming our power in a world that profits from our isolation. Corporate America wants us divided. It wants us competing for scraps. It wants us protecting our ideas so fiercely that we never build the coalitions that could dismantle its systems. Kayshaun Brooks is saying no. They're saying we rise together or we don't rise at all. They're saying collaboration is resistance. They're saying connection is revolution. So let me ask you something. What would your business look like if you stopped hoarding and started sharing? What would your career look like if you stopped competing and started collaborating? What would your life look like if you stopped isolating and started connecting? I'll tell you what it would look like. It would look like freedom. It would look like growth. It would look like power. Because the myth that success is a solo journey is a lie designed to keep you small, to keep you scared, to keep you stuck. The truth is, your network is your net worth. Your relationships are your foundation. Your community is your currency. Here's what I need you to do right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Pull out your phone. Think of one Black woman in your field, one creative, one entrepreneur, one professional who's doing something that inspires you. Message her, not to pitch, not to sell, not to take. Message her to celebrate her win and ask, how can we lift each other? Start that genuine connection. Watch your journey transform, because when we connect, we don't just build businesses, we build movements. We don't just create wealth, we create legacy. We don't just survive, we thrive. Kayshaun Brooks is making the world better by empowering Black professionals to connect boldly, to collaborate fearlessly, to build collectively. Their wisdom is soul stirring, delivered with fire, with depth, with a passion that ignites action. And now it's your turn. It's your turn to reject the lie. It's your turn to embrace the truth. It's your turn to connect. Stop grinding in isolation. Stop protecting your ideas like they're fragile. Stop seeing other Black women as competition. Start building relationships. Start collaborating. Start connecting, because sustainable success is collective and the world is waiting for you to rise together. The sky's the limit, but you don't have to fly alone. In fact, you can't. So reach out, connect, collaborate, and watch what happens when you stop building alone and start building together. This is your moment. This is your movement. This is your revolution. Now go and build it.